In this video, we will be going over how to create an FSM, how to title it, and how to put a description before we start editing it. So I'll start over from scratch. Let's create an empty game object or a blank game object. This will be our parent FSM in case we have any children underneath it. We will title this parent playmaker FSM. And then we need to add the FSM to it because this is just a blank object. So we'll do add component, and we'll type in FSM, which stands for function state machine. We'll come down to playmaker FSM, which is the fourth one down. And right now it creates a blank FSM, so a blank title, description, and nothing inside of it. So before we go into it, we need to say what the purpose of this FSM is, and then describe the base of this FSM, what the purpose of it, how it's going to run, or how we think it's going to run. We can come back to the description and update it, of course, after we build our script, so that we say what variables it's going to store, or what other FSMs it needs to link to, or what children FSMs it needs to correspond to. So for this title, we will call it parent example FSM. And then for description, we will say this FSM is for example, so an example of how to set up a FSM2 standard. Okay, so now when someone comes into our scene, they'll see that we have a playmaker FSM. Let's also call this FSM underscore example, so that they know it's an example FSM. We look at the title and they see it's a parent FSM, it's an example, and if we look at the description, it says that this FSM is an example of how to set up an FSM standard. So we already know before we're going into it what this will hold as when we go into it. So that we'll say standard states and whatnot, which will be the next video.